So you want to know who's going to win the NFC North this year? No need for the long intro. I got you, starting right now. I need everyone to lower their expectations for Jordan Love. The Packers do have a history of Hall of Fame QBs, but even they didn't start their careers great. Aaron Rodgers started 6-10. Brett Favre went 8-5, then 9-7 twice. And Bart Starr only won 3 games in his first 3 years. So when Jordan Love inevitably doesn't look like he's bound for Canton this season, it's okay. These things take time. Plus, he doesn't exactly have an all-pro team around him either. The Packers running back duo, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, are about as good as it gets. But an aging O-line and inexperienced receivers is not exactly a recipe for success. We do get to finally see if Matt LaFleur is actually a good coach or if he just had one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live running the show. Their defense, though, is like sneaky really good. So if Love stinks up the joint, at least they have that in the running game to fall back on. The Bears were busy this offseason, most notably getting the Carolina Panthers to trade everything but the Bojangles headquarters for the #1 pick, getting a #1 receiver in DJ Moore in the process, revamping their linebacker room after refusing to pay Roquan Smith for whatever reason, and most importantly, improving the offensive line by drafting all SEC offensive tackle Darnell Wright. Are there still holes in the roster? Of course, they had the worst record in football for a reason. But salute to General Manager Ryan Poles for actually trying to put a team around his young quarterback. Speaking of that young quarterback, look, I love watching Justin Fields run just as much as the next guy. The highlights are fantastic. But now that he doesn't have to run for his life on a weekly basis, I want to see him have an amazing passing day. This is going to be year 3 and he still hasn't thrown for 300 yards in a game yet. Come on now. You got the guys around you. Let's make it happen. This team might be a year or 2 away from making a run at the postseason, but I do expect to see a much improved Bears team this year. Did the Vikings fall off a cliff and no one told me? The fact that Aaron Rodgers left the division and everyone's immediate thought wasn't, maybe the team that gave the Packers the most trouble would actually win the division this year. Yeah, they lost Dalvin Cook, but y'all been trying to convince me running backs are replaceable for years now, so I don't see why that matters. Justin Jefferson will still be making amazing catches and gritting all throughout the league as far as I know. Newly drafted receiver Jordan Addison won't see a double team all season long because of the aforementioned Justin Jefferson. Now, I don't love their offensive line outside of left tackle Christian Darrisaw, and this is the defense that made Daniel Jones $160 million richer, but none of that mattered on their way to 13 wins last year and head coach Kevin, great name, O'Connell's first year, and I don't see any reasons why they can't win it again. All aboard the Lions bandwagon. Choo-choo. Detroit has hit the point that every sleeper team does every offseason. It starts as, the Lions are going to look pretty good next year. The hype builds and it builds, and by the time the season gets here, they're on prime time for the season opener against the reigning Super Bowl champs. Most of it is warranted though. Offensive coordinator Ben Johnson is back, dialing it up for Jared Goff, who's coming off another 4,000-yard season. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to take another step forward. They got an Alvin Kamara-esque running back in Jamar Gibbs. Everyone, including myself, fell in love with Dan Campbell last year on Hard Knocks. I feel you. I promise I do. But we can relax a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Will they be better than last year? Yes. Can they win this division? Yes again. Can they win a playoff game for the first time since 1991? Maybe. But anything beyond that is a Mrs. Incredible level stretch. So with all that taken into consideration, I got the NFC North going as follows. 4th place, I got the Green Bay Packers. Coming in at 3rd, I got the Chicago Bears. Number 2, I got the Detroit Lions. And winning the division for the 2nd year in a row, I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings. I'm still previewing all 32 teams until the season starts. Please check the back catalog. This is the 4th division I've done so far. So if your team is in the AFC or NFC East, got it covered. If you're in the AFC North, got it covered. And of course, with this video, I got the NFC North covered. Sound good? Cool. Go ahead, lock in.